may well come to mind. But there is neither east nor west, border nor breed nor birth, when two strong men stand face to face, though they come from the ends of the earth.
Ship lay at anchor in the Gulf of Siam, at the starting point of a long journey home, very still, in an immense stillness. The shadows of her spars flung far to eastward by the setting sun. At that moment, I was alone on her deck. Pitched aboard a ship I don't know, with a crew I don't know. You're my first command, old girl, and you're good enough for me. The question is, am I good enough for you? Only the sea will answer that.
Robinson.
Well, yes, I'm coming.
I think it'd be a good idea if you had a coat on tonight, Mr. Robinson. Seeing as the skipper's first meal aboard.
Aye, Mr. Brown. How does he strike you?
It's easy to know what he'll be like.
Oh, indeed, yes. He's got Conway stamped all over him.
You're right, and there's no difference between one trailing ship man and another. Went to sea the first time with brass buttons, he did. Not like you and I, Mr. Robinson.
He doesn't know what the stink of a forecastle's like. Never dug the weevils out of a sea biscuit.
Now, I don't begrudge any man his comforts. I've been at sea for 30 years for a mate's rate. He's not much more than 30 years old, with a master's ticket.
Please. Only coffee for me.
Only coffee, sir? There's some nice cold ham.
No, thank you, Smithers. I made my last meal ashore, a hearty one.
I hope you find your cabin comfortable, sir.
Very comfortable. By the way, do you know there's a ship anchored beyond the roadstead? I saw her mastheads above the nearest island.
Bless me soul, sir. And what would she be doing there? Unless she's too heavy laden to cross the bar and is waiting for the next spring tide and wants sheltered anchorage.
That's right. She's a Sephora with a cargo of coal for Bangkok. Draws 21 feet.
How do you know that?
I had it from the coxswain of the launch that brought you out, sir.
I see. Black, no sugar. Well, gentlemen, it's a hot night, and the crew must have had plenty of hard work getting cleared for sea. So we're setting our anchor watch. And all hands turn in as soon as they care to. I'll take the deck myself.
Bless my soul, you, sir?
Yes. Mr. Robinson, I'll route you out at 2, and you can call Mr. Brown at 4. Of course, at the sign of any wind, we'll have all hands up and get underway immediately.
Aye, aye, sir.
Stifling, isn't it?
Taking the anchor, watching himself, and him a captain. Think of that now.
Bless me, I could hardly believe me ears.
I wonder what sort of a seaman he is, Mr. Brown.
Aye, that's the question, Mr. Robinson.
What's the matter?
Cramp. I said there's no need to call anyone.
I wasn't going to.
Are you alone on deck?
Yes?
What's the time?
The time? About 1:30.
I suppose your captain's asleep.
I'm sure he isn't.
Look, my man. Could you call him out quietly?
I'm the captain.
No. My name's Bleggett.
You must be a good swimmer.
I've been in the water since 9 o'clock. The question is whether I should let go of this ladder and go on swimming till I sink from exhaustion. Or come aboard here.
Come aboard, by all means. Well, now, what's all this?
An ugly business, I'm afraid.
There's a ship over there.
Yes, I know. The Sephora.
I'm the mate of her. I should say I was.
Why no longer?
Because I killed a man.
Just now?
No, weeks ago on the voyage here at 39 South. My father's a parson in Norfolk. Can you see me before a judge and jury charged with murdering a seaman? A seaman? A snarling, mangy cur who wouldn't do his own duty and wouldn't let anyone else do theirs, simmering every minute with a silly sort of wickedness. I'd had trouble with him from the day we sailed.
What's the use of talking? You know his sort.
Yes, I know.
And the weather. You can't imagine what it was like. The sea gone mad. The end of the world will be something like that. The man may have the heart to see it coming and be done with it. But not day after day for 10 days without a night's sleep or a warm meal or a dry stitch on him. Do you think I could have got the men to do anything if I hadn't been pretty fierce with them?
No, I don't.
We're trying to set a reef foresail. The only rag we'd left to keep the ship afloat. She was so heavy laden she'd have dived under bare bolts in that weather. Then, with the ship running for her life, any moment at last, this cursed dock rat interfered with us at the sheets. Crazy with fear and shouting obscenities because he was afraid the sail would blow out. It was a matter of seconds for us, one way or another. So I flattened him on deck.
I don't know what else you could have done, Leggett. I don't know what else I could have done in your shoes. Did he get washed overboard and drowned?
No. By the time we'd the sail set, he got up and came at me. I took him by the throat with both hands. Then a gigantic sea made for the ship. Crew saw it and took to the rigging. But I kept on shaking him in blind fury until it seemed as though the sky had fallen on my head. They say that for 10 minutes the ship was awash in the smother of foam. It was a miracle that they found us jammed together behind the forebitts. But it was another miracle that they didn't chuck me overboard when they got the carcass of their precious shipmate out of my fingers. Seems that I was still holding him by the throat when they picked us up. I was black in the face, and that was too much for them. They ran after the skipper, shouting murder like a pack of lunatics. Came to on my bunk with the captain looking down at me. He's an old psalm-singing Welshman, a religious maniac almost. Mr. Leggett, he said, you have committed a brutal murder. You can no longer act as mate on my ship. I'm keeping you under lock and key in this cabin until I can hand you over to the British consul at Bangkok. My father's a parson in Norfolk. Can you imagine the family getting word of this?
Better slip down to my quarters. Now, my second mate's due on deck in a few minutes. I'm gonna roast him out.
Mr. Robinson? Four bells.
All right, sir.
Sign of any wind yet?
No, sir, not much.
That's all you have to look out for. Oh, and haul in that rope ladder. Should have been done before the hands went below.
Aye, aye, sir. Good night.
I heard someone moving and came here.
No one will come in before daylight without knocking and asking permission. Yep. You're done in. Come and sit down.
That was a pretty story to hear from a Queen's Medal cadet, wasn't it?
Oh, then you were a convoy boy.
Yes. Perhaps you too. You were some years before my time.
But tell me, how did you come to be clinging to our side ladder?
When we sighted land a week ago, I sent for the skipper. To see his face, you'd have thought I was a murdering brute who went around by night strangling people. Do I look it? If I do, he wouldn't have dared come into the cabin. I asked him to leave the door unlocked. I wanted nothing more. I had a prize for swimming in my last year on the Conway.
I don't believe that.
He wouldn't do it. He always seemed sick when he came to see me. As if he couldn't look me in the face because he knew I'd saved the ship by setting that foresail. The thing must take its course, he said. I represent the law here. You'll wonder why I didn't chuck him aside and make a bolt for it there and then. But there'd have been a rush to stop me the noise. I wouldn't have broken out to be flung back. Somebody else might have been killed. I'd had enough of that.
It's my second mate.
I'm a bit nervy, no doubt.
I may be a bit nervy myself. This is my first ship.
I know how you feel. You won't be sure of yourself until you've taken her out of some tight corner.
She will be as soon as I'm anchored in the Thames.
Yes. That's the way with us, isn't it? You get a ship, and you get your girl.
Yeah, right. I'll get you a drink. Here, take it. How did you get away tonight?
Steward who brought my supper forgot to lock the door. I kicked off my shoes and was in the water before I'd made up my mind fairly. Later I heard them shouting. He's gone. He's committed suicide. Now he's swimming with our boat. That was useless. Had no chance to find me in the darkness. I swam to an island, took off my clothes and sank them with a stone. I didn't mean to commit suicide. Just meant to go on swimming until I sank from exhaustion. That isn't the same thing, is it?
No.
Then from this side of the islet, I could see your riding light. Miles away.
Do you think they'll come after you?
Tomorrow, quite likely.
If there's a wind tonight, it'll be all right. Once underway, he'll be found in the sail locker, a stowaway about whom no one knows anything, with any tale he cares to tell. Then he can jump ship at Cape Town, and that'll be the end of him. Yes, it'll be all right, if I get a wind tonight. Don't get a wind tonight.
I'm over here, Stuart.
I saw you on the couch, sir.
Is there no sign of wind?
Not as much as a baby's breath, sir.
What do you want?
Only to close your porthole, sir. They're washing down the decks.
It's already closed. Well?
May I take your tray away, sir?
Very well.
talk about your commanding officer.
I'm just telling you what I heard and seen, Mr. Brown. Every time I come near him, he hops to his feet and shouts, as if he thought I was going to cut his throat.
Bless my soul. Now, why would he do that?
Any sign that he'd been drinking?
No. I had a good sniff as I was serving the coffee, but there weren't no aroma of liquor about him, Mr. Robinson.
Well, bless my soul, then. What could make him act that way now? A touch of sun, maybe. But he didn't show any signs of it yesterday.
But if you asks me, I'll say he's a bit balmy.
All right, Smithers.
Square those yards for lifts and braces before the hands go to breakfast.
Aye, sir.
Mr. Robinson, sir.
Lifts and braces. Square away.
The plemishing of those falls is a sloppy job of work. I'll have you redo them for the instruction of the crew as soon as they've been fed.
Aye, aye, sir.
Aye, sir. Get your backs into it.
Square and yard when there's not a smig of the wind. Nervous as a wildcat, that's what he is, Mr. Robertson.
Yeah, he must be, to start deviling a man about such eyewash of those Flemishings, Mr. Brown.
As soon as you're on deck, sir, I'll tidy up your cabin right
No.
away.
I'll let you know when I'm ready. Go into the bathroom. I'm having the steward in here to clean up. Steward! I'm going to shave now. I want this place cleaned up while I'm in the bathroom. And be quick about it.
Aye, aye, sir.
That other door leads into the saloon, but it's never used except by the steward when he comes in here to clean up. And we'll sing in joyful chorus in the watches of the night. And we'll sight the shores of England when the grey dawn brings the light.
Rolling home, rolling home, rolling home across the sea. Rolling home to dear old England, rolling home, dear land to thee.
Rolling home, rolling home, rolling home across the sea. Rolling home to dear old England. Rolling home, dear land, to thee.
Rolling on, rolling on, rolling on.
All right, Stuart, I'll be through here in a minute. Have you finished with the cabin?
Yes, sir.
A ship's boat coming our way.
All right, I'll be up. And get a ladder overside.
Whatever happens, I must tell you that when I came to your ladder, all I wanted was to be seen, to talk to somebody for a minute. I was lonely, I suppose. I couldn't see the stars. It was like swimming in a 1,000 feet deep cistern with no way to get out. Don't know what I would have said. Fine night or something like that. Then I'd have gone on again. But you spoke so quietly. So you'd been expecting me.
Name's Archbold, Captain. Master of Sephora. On a card with coal for Bangkok.
I'm delighted to meet you, sir. I trust you had a good voyage here.
Oh, terrible. Terrible, Captain. I never seen the like of such weather. And my wife on board, too.
I'm sorry to hear that. Mr. Brown, ask the Sephora's boat crew to come aboard.
Aye.
Sir Robinson, see that they have beer.
Aye, sir.
Care to come aboard and wet your whistles, lad?
Aye, give me right up.
I'll ring for the steward. You take beer or whiskey or gin?
I'm not one that's given to the drink.
I'm sorry to tell you, I'm hard of hearing.
Hard of hearing. And you such a young man, too. Pure water sufficient to my need.
Oh.
Tis but small wonder I'm parched with thirst, Captain. Since daylight, I've been searching the islands around my ship.
Searching the islands? What for?
Look you, Captain. I'm a well-known shipmaster, and a horrible thing has happened on board my vessel. Murder, Captain. Brutal murder.
This Leggett has been picking on him ever since we sailed. I don't say he's much of a seaman. Like to dog it a bit, maybe. But he didn't deserve nothing like that. Black in the face he were when we pried him loose. Weren't he, Monroe?
Aye, black he was. And blacker still with red marks of fingers on his throat when we buried him.
Truth. I've been at sea now, man and boy, for 37 years, and I've never heard of such a thing happening in an English ship. And that it should be my ship, and my wife on board, too.
But don't you think that the heavy sea that swamped you could have killed the man?
The sea? Lord have mercy, no man killed by the sea ever looked like that. A black face and...
I see. But still, the setting of that foresail must have saved you.
Oh, it did. When the hand of God was in it. Without faith in him, I'd never found it in myself to give the order. It was our last chance, Captain. Every other sail we'd tried to set blew out of the bolt ropes in ribbons.
You seem very eager to get Leggett. After all, he was one of your own people.
'Tis a duty I do owe to the law. And a duty I do owe to the crew. And a duty I do owe to the chapel of Methrin, in which I'm a deacon. Besides, the man was not of my choosing. He was sort of forced on me. His family had influence with the owners. Oh, he looked smart and gentlemanly. Something like yourself, Captain, a Conway boy. But I never cared for him. He wasn't the sort to be mate of the Sephora.
No doubt.
Well, I suppose I'll have to report him as suicide.
I beg your pardon?
A suicide. That's what I'll have to report Leggett when we get in.
Unless you happen to recover him, and before tomorrow. Recover him alive, that is.
Well, it's a matter to be set down in the log for the Court of Admiralty. You see, Captain, the land, the mainland, I mean, is a good 7 mile from my anchorage.
Yes, about that, I would say.
But I do reckon it's no more than a 2 mile pull from the island to your ship.
Quite enough. Must have been in this ghastly heat. Oh, but of course you haven't seen my ship. It's a nice little saloon, isn't it?
Aye.
And she's very well fitted out. Here, for instance, is my bathroom.
I was,
Now we'll have a look at the cabin. It's an unusual one, you'll find. As you see, it's L-shaped with good space for gear.
Aye, very convenient.
And now there are the mate's cabins, the steward's pantry, the storeroom, and the sail locker abaft here before I show you the forward fittings.
Mr. Robinson.
Sephora's away. All right, men. Look lively there.
It's been a pleasure to have you, sir. And I know you'll forgive a young sailor for dragging you all over his first ship.
Bear a hand there, men.
I say, are you... You don't think that...
Don't mention it. Delighted.
The ship's crew told our chaps an extraordinary story, sir. I suppose you had it from the captain.
Yes, I had it from him.
The queer part is, sir, the Sephora fellas had some notion that the man might be hidden aboard of us.
Preposterous, isn't it?
I suppose the fella drowned himself. Don't you, sir?
I don't suppose anything.
You have no doubt in the matter then, sir, huh?
None whatsoever. Did you hear everything?
Yes, everything. That man told you he gave the order. I tell you he did not. I found him on the break of the poop after the main topsail blew out. Do you know what he was doing? He was praying at the top of his voice. To hear one skipper go on like that in such weather drove me desperate. I left him and took things into my own hands. I was precious little better than he was at the moment. Only I was an officer of that old coal wagon, and I... But what's the use of telling you now?
Yes, I know. The strung-up force in you gave 24 men a chance for their lives, and then recoiled on one mutinous idler. I understand. Yes, come in.
I believe there's enough wind to get on their way, sir.
Good. Have all hands up. Weigh anchor. I'll be up on deck in a minute.
Aye, aye, sir.
You know what I'm thinking about?
Yes.
The feeling of your own ship moving under you for the first time.
Anchor away!
Sailboat to sea.
Aye, aye, sir.
Jibs and topsails, Mr. Brown. Lee braces. Now, believe.
Come on, get on to the deck. Go on, get on, please. Take it.
I'll take her, Killen.
Aye, sir.
Light as a feather. Poor Till.
Beg pardon, sir.
Nothing. Nothing. All halyards, clew down! Take her now.
Aye, sir.
As she goes. South 20 west.
South 20 west, sir.
8 bells, sir.
Make it so.
Steward. What the devil's the matter with you?
Big pardon, sir, but I could have taken my gospel oath. I'd heard you in your cabin. The second before you spoke.
Nonsense, man. You were daydreaming. I'll have my lunch now.
Right, sir.
You'll have to be quieter. The steward heard you moving about just now.
I'll try.
There's some preserved food in that chest. See that the empty tins are out of sight, and whatever you do, keep your ears open for Smithers. He's the sword that hangs over our heads. Well, gentlemen, it's a good feeling to be homeward bound at last.
That it is, sir.
Steward! Where are you going with that coat?
Your cabin, sir. Found a moth in it this morning, I did. Had it on deck for a bit of sun.
Very well, get on with it. Then bring my lunch.
Are you all right, sir?
Oh, yes.
A glass of water, maybe.
Thank you. Where did you hang my coat?
In the bathroom, sir. It was a bit dampish.
Sir, the fore topsail stay is carried away.
We'd better be getting topside.
I won't come on deck for a while. I think I'll turn in. And unless the wind shifts, I don't want to be disturbed. I don't feel very well.
Now, you did look middling bad a few minutes ago, sir.
Did he see you?
No.
Why not, man? Are you a ghost?
I hid behind the bathroom door. He only opened it far enough to put his arm in and hang up the coat.
I hadn't thought of that.
All the same, it was a near thing. Too near. They think I'm dead. And I am. It would never do for me to come to life again.
You talk like a ghost.
I am a ghost. Whatever happens, I cannot go back to being myself again. That's dead. But my own corpse would have been chained to me for as long as I lived if I hadn't found you at the ship's rail.
Why?
Because you seemed sent on purpose to judge me. You understand perfectly. Now I can leave my corpse behind me forever. Give it a decent burial when I go. As soon as we get among the islands off the Cambodian shore, you must maroon me.
Maroon you? We aren't living in a boy's adventure tale.
We aren't indeed. There's nothing of a boy's adventure story in this.
It's impossible. You wouldn't have a chance in 1,000.
It's all the chance I want. You don't suppose I'm going back to explain what I did to an old fellow in a wig and 12 respectable tradesmen in a jury box? How can they know whether I'm guilty or not? Or of what I'm guilty either? That's my affair. What does the Bible say? Driven off the face of the earth. Very well then. As I came at night, so shall I go. And thanks to you, not bound to a corpse. Not with a brand of Cain on my forehead.
I see. I understand. And it must be tonight.
The ship's on an offshore course.
I'll have to change it. 5 bells, sir.
Make it so.
Alter course, Mr. Brown. Bring her 2 points closer to the wind. We're not doing well out here in the Gulf. I'm going inshore to catch the land breeze tonight.
Bless me soul, sir. Do you mean in the dark? Among all these islands and reefs and shoals?
If we want the land breeze, we'll have to go inshore to get it, won't we? Bring her close, Mr. Brown.
Aye, aye, sir. All hands! Braces and sheets!
Close haul it is, sir.
Mainsail haul! Walk away with it there!
East-southeast is your course, Mr. Brown.
Aye, aye, sir. Fast heaving!
This is Coring Island. A few fishermen live on it. On the coast opposite, there's a mouth of a biggish river with some town, no doubt, not far up. That's your only chance, as I can see.
There's no need for that. I can swim 2 miles easily.
Not here. You'll be swept away. Take a look at this current. You've got to get through it into slack water about so far.
That's 24 feet, and we're drawing 18. Don't risk the ship, whatever you do.
We'll be taking soundings. When the leadsman calls 4 fathoms, I'll put her about. As we come around, and the ship's way is deadened, all hands will be aft at the braces. You'll have a clear road then to slip overside. Better use a rope's end to lower yourself so as to avoid making a splash.
Right.
The important thing is that you're ready to go the moment we come about.
I'll be ready as soon as the 4-fathom mark is called. But how do I get on deck there without being seen?
Leave that to me. I'll find a way for you. Shortly before midnight.
Lights clear and burning bright, sir.
I don't like this. We're drawn in pretty fast.
I'm making leeway, sir.
The captain's on deck soon. I'm going to send for him.
It's getting near time to be moving. I need a little money to buy fruit and vegetables for the crew from the native boats in Sunda Straits. Take this anyhow. I'll have enough.
No, I don't want them.
Go on, take it. No one can tell what you may need.
Yes? Mr. Robinson's respects, sir. We're drawing in pretty fast.
I'll be up in a minute or two. Tell him to hold his course and put a leadsman in the chains.
Aye, aye, sir.
You wait here. I'm going to clear a way for you to the sails locker. There's an open hatch in it that gives onto the quarterdeck. When we come about, you'll be able to slip through it to the side.
Right.
I won't be there to see you go. I hope I've understood everything you wish me to.
You have from first to last.
Steward?
Yes,
Go
sir.
forward to the galley and get me some hot water.
Aye, aye, sir.
Suicide to be inshore in this darkness. I'm going to come about. All hands! Check, Mr. Roberts.
I'll take over. Keep a good full, Thansby.
Good pull, sir.
What's the matter?
Get on deck before that madman runs us aground.
Bless me soul, what's in him?
And a quarter 6.
Steer small there.
I can hardly see the sails to keep them full, sir. Should we better come about?
No, not yet. Mr. Robinson, turn all hands up to stand by.
All hands! Here we are, sir. All on deck. A quarter left 5. Shawling, sir!
She'll never clear. You're too close to turn about. Listen, she'll dip the shore aboard the road.
Quiet, Mr. Brown. I'm navigating this.
You're insane, man. Quiet! You're in...
Go for it before the night sheets. Back your topsails! Stand on, come on! Put your backs around! Finally!
Merciful heaven, what's taking her turn? We're lost!
She's in an eddy! Helm hard down!
Helm hard down, sir.
Back your main yards! We're making sternway! Steady so until she fills. Bring it to, Saresby.
Bring it to, sir.
With the helm, hard over.
With the helm hard over, sir.
Thank heaven we're round. I don't hold with his foolhardiness, Mr. Robertson. But now we know what kind of a seaman he is.
Steady as she goes.
And so I was alone with my ship at last. Nothing, no one in the world should stand now between us, throwing a shadow on the way of silent knowledge and mute affection, the perfect communion of a seaman with his first command.